Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. This is It's Your Healthy Lifestyle show, hosted by the founder of this platform, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and myself, Roland Friedl. How important is your health and fitness to you? We show you how you can easily eat healthier every day, how you can improve your fitness and recover much quicker after your exercises and workouts. Families will learn how to optimize their children's health and nutrition. And finally, you will also hear how you live a long, healthy and fit life into your old age. Join us here on It's Your Healthy Lifestyle.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, where we are super thrilled to announce we now have over 130,000 subscribers on our 2 YouTube channels. And we are just thrilled that you're loving our content and you're following us. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is It's Your Healthy Lifestyle. And for those who are not aware, the episode last week was in the top 10 most viewed. So thank you for watching. We really appreciate that. Our topic today is fasting for longevity, the science of living longer. And I'm not alone. I'm actually with the star of our show virtually, Mr. Roland Friedl. He and I are going to be meeting in person, which is super exciting. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But he is a entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneur. He's a coach. He's a mentor. He helps men all across the world be able to express their inner feelings. And he also is someone who really cares about not following all the rules or living in that box. He lives outside the box, and that's why he rocks a wireless lifestyle. Let's welcome him to the program. Hello, how are you?
Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Hello, great to see you, and hello to our audience.
Great to see you as well. Were you surprised that the episode from last week was in the top 10?
Yeah, I saw it. Cool. Really cool.
Yeah. Love it. I love it.
Health is important.
It's very true. So, Roland, we are going to be meeting in person, and it's going to be in Vienna in June, which is really exciting. And especially since we've been working together for, 4 years now, maybe 5, I don't even know. And I know that people find this hard to believe, but you can actually become friends with someone, even if you're working virtually, like we are.
Yeah, it's not. Because when you meet on a frequent base, when you communicate, and we not only talk about business, also private stuff, and we share our thoughts and our vision and our challenges, and then of course you're building a relationship, even when you never met in person. And the interesting thing is, when we meet in person, it's like, oh, we know such many years. So that's really cool. I'm very excited. We're very excited to meet you in person.
I'm very excited to meet you as well. And we will be talking about some business as we look to expand the platform, but we'll go into that at a future time. So, Roland, would you share with our audience a little bit about how you help people and who you can help?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, hello, everyone, wherever you're joining us. My name is Roland, and as you can hear from my accent, I'm European, actually Austrian. That's why we're going to meet in Vienna. My background is after university, I was in the corporate world. I was building up a lot of different businesses after the corporate world. and I became, some people say, a coach. My closest friends said, no, Ron, you're not a coach. You are a successful entrepreneur, and you share your experience and your knowledge with people who want to building up business. So what I'm doing is I have a business that is focused on big tech companies since I really started around 30 years ago, working together with big international companies, mostly from the US, from Canada, and the UK. Where I deliver, facilitate trainings, management trainings, leadership coaching, and a lot of sales trainings. That was always my base for many, many years and still is. Besides that, I'm very into coaching one-to-one. I have clients who became coaches, and I just help them to expand their business and grow their business. On the other hand, I do a lot of men's work. So then in June, I go into a lot of men's conferences as a speaker. I was a speaker the last 2 weeks on the largest online men's conference. It was really interesting stuff. More than 3,000 men joining. It was really cool in German, actually. I'm very engaged in environment. I'm very engaged in health. And that's why we do the health show. So I have a very broad agenda because I'm very eager and very curious to learn little things, drive things out. And also what we do here, Dr. Jacalyn and myself in the show is, we're both not medical doctors, but I only share what I'm doing or why I'm still fit and healthy. I become 61 this year, and I feel like in my 30s. And actually, I did some surgery, how do you call it, some checkups. So every 5 years, I do some checkups. And the doctor told me my biological age is 38. So quite cool. I guess I do something quite cool, quite good. Something that's practical. That's what we're going to share. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that greatly. And we do have a comment from Gaffa. Hi, Gaffa. It's nice to have you watching us live. Beautiful. Hi. If you'd like to tell our audience where you're watching from, that would be terrific. All right, we are going to be talking about fasting. Now, fasting is not something that I actually was very familiar with before I started doing this platform. I think I had heard of it, but I never looked into it. And then when you and our friend Red were doing shows about fasting, I thought, you know what, let me give it a try. So I have done intermittent fasting. And what surprises me is that I'm not as strong as I would be, but I'm still strong. I can still, it's not like you have to lie in bed just like, oh, I have no energy. So how often are you fasting, and what type of fasting are you doing?
Well, I got involved in fasting in my early 20s. A friend of mine at the time, she was running the health center in a huge spa hotel. A very good friend of mine, and she said, Roland, I have some millionaires coming in, actually, one-to-one, two ladies from Switzerland are flying in to a 2-week fasting. You want to join us? I said, yeah, why not? So I went to this 5-star hotel, and I had no idea what expecting me. So and actually, she didn't prepare me, so I just had a full lunch and a full dinner the day before, and I started there really the next day from zero. Because what I learned is, and now I'm a little bit more clever, is before you're starting fasting, like only drinking water, tea, whatever, maybe you should reduce the food intake, or just no alcohol or no meat or something like that, and maybe more, I don't know, more vegetables or a soup or something like that. But I went really from 100 to 0. It was an amazing experience. So I did this for 2 weeks, and I felt great. Not the first 3 days. It was awful. The first 3 days. I missed the caffeine. I'm a coffee lover. I always say, I don't drink coffee to wake up. I wake up to drink coffee because I love coffee. So I missed the coffee and some stuff. But after 3-4 days, I felt incredible, really good, full of power, full of energy. And what was interesting for me too, I'm always trying to be very busy, very efficient in what I'm doing. I said, wow, I have a lot of time. I don't have to buy food. I don't have to prepare food. I don't have to cook. I don't have to wash dishes. So it's a lot of time for myself. So that was my start in my early 20s. 2 weeks fasting just on water was really a cool experience. And since then, I do it every few years. I go for 2-3 weeks, something like that. I did some fasting, combining with cleansing and pranayama in India, 5 weeks in a clinic in India 3 times. And I still do intermittent fasting, 16 to 8, meaning a 16-hour break from my last meal the day before to the next meal on the next day. That's I'm still doing most of the days. Yeah, I love fasting. I love it.
I
But
love
it's
your
one thing.
enthusiasm about it.
Sorry?
I love your enthusiasm about it. So, what I'd like to talk to our audience about, and again, we're not medical doctors, so we're not going to know, at least I do not know the exact terminology, but what exactly happens to our bodies as we go through the fasting process? I know that I have an app. I think the name of it is Zero, and it actually tracks, you start it when you're fasting, and it'll tell you what, I don't want to say zone, I don't know if that's the right word, but what level of fasting you're at. And then at each level, your body is doing something different. And I think it's 18 hours, which is where your body really starts to repair itself. And as Fred would say, the dump trucks in your body come and take out all the bad stuff. So can you enlighten our audience a little bit more than what I just shared there?
Yeah. As I said, I'm not a medical doctor, but what I experienced and was what I learned over the years is from fasting is, so in the beginning, the first hours, when you're still alive, you're still burning calories. Maybe you're moving or do some live sport. Is what starts in my body is first I'm burning all the sugars, all the carbs. Storage is empty, fully empty. And by the way, this is the reason why people lose kind of a lot of weight in the beginning, but it's not losing weight, you're just losing water, because when you empty your carb store, you also get rid of the water, because the carbs is binding a lot of water. That's why you lose, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe 4 pounds the first day, first 2 days. But it's not really losing fat or weight. It's just you get rid of the water. So as I said, that the carb, meaning the sugar storage, empties. That's why you get a little bit fatigued. Maybe you feel like a little bit. Yeah, I feel like a diva. It's not really good to talk to me the first 2 days. With some issues, I feel a little bit, because you get rid of the carbs, and then you're starting burning the fat in a while. And as you said, after 18 hours, more or less, was your body is get rid of all the stuff, and then it starts repairing, meaning your cells, your killer cells, are getting rid of all old cells, of all toxic stuff, and it's flushing out. And that's the reason why it's very, very important to drink a lot. Drink a lot of water or herbal tea. I stay with water and a little bit herbal tea. Sometimes I do a little bit lime in the water for the taste. And what I also do is, because I know that when my killer cells starting getting rid of all the old cells, the damaged cells, get rid of all the stuff, the toxic stuff. How is this going? So it comes from your cells into your blood system, and from your blood system to other system to flush it out. So in your blood system, for the first days, how do you say, the level of toxicity is very high. It's very toxic. So I do a lot of supplements to support my body, to get rid of the toxic body. Your body is going to repair. It's getting rid of all the old stuff, the old cells, the dead cells. It's getting out of the body, and I can feel this. And the funny thing is, when I do fasting, I can feel what's going on in my body. So I remember when I remember the first time I learned it, the first time when I was in my 20s. I was in this 5-star hotel. We have been in total 4 people fasting. And the funny thing is, we got the tea at lunchtime. And in the restaurant, all the people, this nice buffet, the meat, the turkey, the steaks, the wedges, the salads, and the desserts and everything there, and we're just grabbing our tea. It was a little bit challenging at the beginning. But the interesting thing is, the first 3 days, I was walking through the buffet just to challenge myself. I'm strong enough. How is my discipline? Do I want to grab something or not? So I was walking through the lines. There was a huge buffet in this hotel. And the funny thing is, the first days I was very into sugar, like carbs. As I said, your sugar storage empties. So it was like, oh, it would be lovely to have a pineapple or stuff like that. And after day 5, 6, something around, I was more looking about meat, so I was losing protein. So because when you fast along, and you're also losing muscle, your muscle mass. So I was more into protein and meat. It was interesting to watch. Absolutely. And by the way, it's always interesting to get to know your body, but because most people have no idea about the body.
Yeah. Yes,
Looking
it's definitely true.
at
It's definitely true. So I know from in the past and speaking to people who have done fasting for a long amount of time, initially there might be a headache or you might feel kind of shaky, I guess because you're not having the sugar. But I think one of the most important things, at least for me, is I have to mentally prepare myself for when I'm going to start fasting, because when I get into that zone, then I'm not even really thinking about food anymore. But if I'm not mentally prepared and then something happens during the day, then I might think, you know what, I can't deal with this right now. I'm just going to get something deep, because we use
yeah,
food to stuff our feelings, or as something that we turn to when everything's not going right or when we're celebrating something.
yeah, yeah. But for me, it's fasting is only work. Not intermittent fasting, but when I go fasting for a week or 2 weeks or something like that. For me, it's only working when I go on a hideaway. I cannot work during the time. I cannot meet friends and stuff like that. So I go in a hotel or in a place on a hideaway, just be by myself, not being distracted by friends who call me for having a beer or a barbecue or a
Mm.
cake or a coffee or something like that. It's not working. I did it once with my wife. We did. We also went to this hotel, but just on a day base, but because the hotel was just very close where we have been living at the time. So we still went to my friend, and we did fasting. We did fasting, and we went there for cleansing and for massages and treating and stuff like that. And a customer called me, kind of friend, a customer called me. Hey, and he found out that I'm very close to the. Okay, let's meet. So I went to his large, huge house, and I thought we're gonna meet for half an hour just for a short business talk, and then I go home with my wife. So we have been fasting on day 6 or 7, something like that. So we came to this house, and the housemaid, the lady who was working for him, she was preparing a huge buffet for 3 people. So he went to Vienna, 200 this is about 200 kilometers, 120, 130 miles from his home. He went to Vienna to special shop, buying delicious, delicious food, and everything was prepared on the table. Because I didn't tell him that we are fasting. And I said, I'm sorry, we are fasting. We cannot eat anything. And he said, you want a glass of wine? I said, no, just warm water or tea, and we're just fine. So the lady was putting away all the food on the table. And he said, is it okay for me if I have a glass of wine, you can have the tea? And this happened to us 2 times, that we get an invitation and we didn't tell them. I don't know, we just forgot it to tell the story. We're sorry, we're not fasting and just preparing food and stuff like that. So, a long story short, when I do fasting for a few days or even longer, I go on a hideaway or not working, not socializing, nothing.
It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. And I think also I've heard that people will do fasting and go somewhere that they're alone, maybe in a cabin or something, and then they start writing. And they start writing, and for creatives or authors, that's a catalyst to help them with their writing.
Yeah, because when you go through this first 3-4 days, when you get rid of the sugar addiction or alcohol or nicotine or coffee addiction, in the beginning you're foggy, you have a headache and stuff like that. It's because your body is used to whatever you're taking, sugar, coffee, whatever. So after that, it really clears your mind. You get a very, very clear mind. You get very creative. All the fog is gone. And as I said, in the beginning, you have a lot of time. So because you're not preparing any food. So it's really a good time to write a book or a read or just relax. I always say don't watch TVs or stuff like that. So get rid of your smartphone. It's also good when you do a classical food fasting. You also do a social media detoxing, stuff like that. It's really good. And yeah, you get very creative. And when the fog is gone, you're very clear. You get very, very clear. That's what I love fasting too. You get very, very clear. You get good ideas. You're creative. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you for that, Roland. We are going to take a quick break and we'll be back for the second part of our show. Let's take a break, folks. Stay with us and we'll be right back.
In a world craving connection, one platform dared to dream bigger. USA Global TV and Radio, a beacon for global voices, authentic storytelling, and elevated listening. Led by visionary Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, the journey from a spark to a global force is now captured in one inspiring book. Honored with YouTube's Silver Creator Award for surpassing 100,000 subscribers, discover the evolution, the challenges, the triumphs, and the unstoppable spirit that created a global movement. Executive producer Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang. Creative director Paul Garcia. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication, or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited. Now an Amazon #1 new release in paperback and ebook. Broadcasting Brilliance, the evolution of USA Global TV and Radio, is inspiring readers around the world. Join the movement that's redefining global media one story at a time.
Hello and welcome back. Wherever you are in the world, here is one of our YouTube channels. If you can go there right now, USA Global TV and Radio, and subscribe, we would really appreciate it. Okay, our show today is It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, and we're talking all about fasting, the benefits of fasting. And welcome back to the star of our show, Mr. Roland Friedel. Hello, hello.
Hello, everyone.
So, in the time that we took a short break, did you get anything to eat?
No, just water. No, I had no breakfast. I had a coffee in the morning, like every day, a bulletproof coffee. It's around 7, and around lunchtime, I had a very, very small lunch, some ham, some eggs, a lot of butter. That's all.
I have never had coffee in my life. I've never tasted it. I don't know. I've never had it. I was brought up drinking tea, really. So, but I typically only drink water. And since I'm not at my main studio, I have bottled water today, which I don't really like because normally I have the filtered water, but we have to do what we have to do. So
Water's the best. Water's the best.
it really is. And, that's another thing. Sometimes we think we're hungry and it's really that we're dehydrated.
Yeah.
And dehydration can kill you.
Absolutely. Most people are dehydrated, especially, as you said, if they feel hungry but are dehydrated, or they're just tired or stuff like that. So most people don't drink enough water. Absolutely, yeah. Water is
And
so
by the way,
important.
there's a quick way to test that, which I'm not going to go into the specifics, but the color of your urine indicates whether or not you are hydrated. So if it's very pale, then that's a sign that you are in pretty good shape. If it's very dark, and there's different shades of the rainbow, then they each can indicate something else. So anyway, just have a look, see, and maybe you'll be able to determine just from that if you're dehydrated. How much water would you say that you drink a day, not when you're fasting, but just in general?
Around 2 liters. I guess around 2 liters of water. I don't know how many ounces it is. Two large bottles of water. I have 3 coffees. And yeah, I drink about 2 liters of water on a normal day. When I do a lot of sports or hiking, of course, it's much higher. And when I do fasting, it's also double. But on a normal day, it's 2 liters. But when I do hiking, a lot of sport, it's of course more in the summer. And when I do fasting, it's double.
Now, where you are currently, is it summer or is it winter?
Spring.
Spring. Okay.
It's been summer starts here. Actually, during the day it's quite nice. It's warm, but in the night the ground was frozen in the night. Yeah.
Interesting. So tell our viewers where exactly you are. Not exactly, but give your GPS coordinates.
I'm here. Oh, yeah.
You're in Europe.
I'm in Europe. Actually, I am in Austria. The last 3 days I was in a beautiful area very close to the Czechoslovakian border. I went there for archery. I met my publisher. So I invited him for archery, and we did some barbecue. We talked about the book and a lot of stuff on Saturday. On Friday, I met friends there. And yesterday, I did archery by myself, and I was working a lot, to be honest. It was very creative. So I'm very close in Upper Austria, very close to the Czechoslovakia border. Now I came back today to my auntie's house. It's also very close to the Czech border. I stayed here until Friday, and then I'm heading to Vienna because my girlfriend is flying in on Saturday, and then we go to Belgium together. Yeah.
Very nice. Sounds like you have a jam-packed agenda. So, given that you are on the road all the time,
Mostly,
it's
yeah.
not like, yeah. So, how do you actually determine when you're going to do fasting when you have the kind of lifestyle that you have now? Because I would think, and I don't know this, but does the fasting impact your ability to drive?
I don't know because I don't drive when I fast. So when I do fasting, I go to a spot where like I was like in Sicily in winter or stuff like that. So I'm looking for a spot where I'm by myself. For me, it's important that it's in nature, it's peaceful. I can walk in the forest or on a beach or something like that. Because when I do fasting, well, I always walk my dog, but I do a lot of walking because with fasting, I'm not very into heavy workouts. So I'm doing more walking. So I try to be on a spot on the beach or in a national park or something in the forest. So I do a lot of working, walking. Mostly no network, so social media detoxing stuff like that is helpful too. No, I'm not driving. I have no experience in fasting and driving. Well, to be honest, because I really stay on a spot for a week or two or something like that by just being by myself.
Well, I wonder for people, if let's say they have a corporate job, they've got to go in 5 days a week, is fasting something that would work, or would it be a hindrance if you can't
I,
be
I
by
guess
yourself?
I guess it can work. I mean, the point is that it's the first 3-4 days, when you get rid of the sugar, the alcohol, nicotine, as I mentioned before, where you really feel foggy, fatigued, a little bit, I wouldn't say aggressive, but you're not in a good mood. I guess when you start on the weekend and then you go to the job when you really have this clear mindset, I guess it can work. I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. But I wouldn't go on the first day of the fasting to work because you really don't you're not focused, you're not concentrated, you have headache. It's not a good outcome.
No, I know for myself that the longest I've gone is 41 hours, which is not that long, but it was in preparation for, colonoscopy or something. And the reason I was able to do it was I mentally said to myself, this will be over at some point and I will be able to celebrate with food. I've never tried doing it just to do it, to help my body clean out and detox. So that's something I'll consider, especially in this summer. I don't know about you, but there always seems like there's something coming up that you need to eat for, or you need to eat at. I have a wedding that I'm going to this weekend. I'll be eating. So it's kind of like, well, when would I actually do it? So I think it is a good thing to do. And I know one of our loyal fans, Steve Klein, he's one of our sponsors. He's doing water fasting, and he posts on social media what day he's on and how much better he feels. He's in the Netherlands. So we should get him on one of the shows coming up in the future.
Yeah, it would be cool. Yeah. I mean, I did water fasting. My longest time was 40 days years ago. But I don't do it so long. I don't see any benefit. Instead of, I made it just for my eat. I think it was more for my ego than for my health. So I'm as I said, I'm into intermittent fasting. This is really helpful and supportive to my body, to my health, to my fitness. And once in a while, I do a fasting for a week or maybe 2 weeks at the longest. But I don't go anymore for 6 weeks, for 40 days. I don't see a benefit for myself. It's cool for the ego. It's cool when you run a YouTube channel, but I think for the health, it's not good. But what I want to mention is what is very, very, very important when you go fasting, what I highly recommend, because I made this experience not last winter, but the winter before when I was in Sicily too. I started fasting and I wanted to go longer, and I totally forgot that I should also cleanse my body, because as I said, all this old and death cells get flushed out of your body through your blood system, and so you get very toxic. So that's very, very important also from your stomach, from your intestines, that you really cleanse your body. That's so, so important. When you do fasting, it's cleansing. It's very, very important. So 2 years ago, I stopped my fasting because I didn't get any products to cleanse myself. So this is very important. I highly recommend when you go fasting, do cleansing too. And I love, I don't know how to say in the US, but we in Europe, we call it colon therapy. Is it the same in the US, Dr. Jacalyn, colon therapy?
I've never heard of this, honestly.
Okay, so for me, it's the best way to cleanse because you don't smell it, you don't see it. it's the best thing. You don't have to have these ugly drinks, the salt drinks. I don't like them. Normally you mix a kind of salt, maybe some orange or some lime inside, so the taste is not that bad. You drink a huge, more than a liter in within an hour, and then it takes an hour or two, and then your body starts cleansing. It's not fun, to be honest, because these products you get in a pharmaceutical shop, they don't taste well. I hate to stay hours and hours on the toilet and run between, I don't know, the bed and the toilet or the table and the toilet. I don't like it at all, because you always have a very strange feeling, in your stomach. Should I go to the toilet or not? So I don't like this way, but most people do like it. That's why I love colon therapy. So I go to an institute, to a therapist, which offer this. It's a machine. I don't go into details, but what it does is you lay on your side, and this guy puts in 2 tubes from the back door, and it flushes your system with warm water, and something is in it, flushes your system, and with the other tube it comes out. So you don't smell it, you don't see it. She's flushing the whole time your body. So it's a two-way system, water in, water out. It's a closed system, and during this hour, he or she's massaging your stomach, and then afterwards you're really clean, and it's done. You don't have the urge to go to the toilet every 5 minutes. It's just done. It's clean. It's everything. So I highly recommend this kind of therapy because it's, as I said, it's a closed system. It's safe. It's done by therapists. It's not expensive, and it's the best way to cleanse. And afterwards, you feel really, really amazing. And you don't have to do a long fasting. So it's just maybe you go 1 or 2 days without food, maybe just fruits and some veggies or vegetable soup and water and tea, nothing else. And then you do this cleansing, and then you do maybe another 1 or 2 days with vegetable soups, a little bit rice and stuff like that, and then you can go back to normal. So you can do it in a 5 days, something like that, and you really, really feel great afterwards. So I highly recommend this form of fasting. On a 5 days, meaning 2 days, we reduce, meaning no meat, no alcohol, no sugar, only vegetable soup, maybe some fruits. Then do the cleansing. And then 1 or 2 another days on a vegetable soup, a little bit rice, cooking a little bit rice in the soup, and then you go back to normal. And ladies and gentlemen, for me, normal is not a typical standard American diet. For me, it's a healthy diet. Okay, it's not the same. And then it's fine. With 5 days, you're just fine.
I wonder if those tubes you referenced are reusable.
They clean everything. Yeah, it's like when you go to a medical doctor. It's very clean, everything in the clinic. You're lying on this table, with this white stuff. It's a closed system. You don't smell it, you don't see it, you don't hear it. It's really cool. After an hour,
how long does it take?
1 hour.
Oh, 1 hour. Okay.
Yeah,
and that's called a colon cleanse.
Colon cleanse. Yeah, colon cleanse. And so it's warm water's coming in, they're massaging your body, water's coming in, and it's getting out. So it's a two-way system from the back door. It's easy. It's not painful, nothing. You lie on the side or you roll around, and the girl or the man, whatever is doing, is just massaging you to get more red out of the, and it's, a lot of stuff get out. And you don't see it. It's gone.
It's gone. Bye-bye. So you must feel much, much lighter.
Bye-bye and don't come back. Yeah.
Nice seeing you get lost.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about, you mentioned, I don't know what the exact words were, but is it a fasting hotel? What do they actually, if you find a place like that, what do you actually experience since there's no food?
We have here in Austria, and I know in Germany too, but I know in Austria we have some special hotels or spas, hotels with spa, that are very into fasting. Yeah, absolutely. So you go there. I don't know why it's so expensive. You don't get much food. Yeah,
What are the
I remember
services?
sorry,
What are the services they offer there?
nothing. When I did my first time, this 2 weeks, in this fancy hotel, in my 20s, I had a nice suite. It's no problem. But I was talking to the owner when I was checking what I'm paying, and he's telling the president, "What? I just had a room and tea. I didn't go to the buffet, not for breakfast, not for lunch, for dinner." And he charged me more than a normal guest. And he said the tea is too expensive. Are you kidding?
Oh my gosh, that sounds like go out with a tent and a sleeping bag in the woods and do the fasting there.
No, and to be honest, when I'm fasting, as I said, the first 3 days, it's not fun with me. So I love to have a large room, a nice room. Everything is clean, changing towels. I go to spa. I go to the sauna, not to the very hot one, but to the steam bath and stuff like that. So I go to sauna. I go to massages. A lot of walks. Yeah, I love a nice, beautiful hotel. It's cool. You feel much cleaner when you go walk in a nice, freshly made bed. I just love it. I just love it.
Yeah, it's nice to be waited on, that's for sure. So, as we come towards the end of our program, longevity is based on a number of things. Obviously, most people are thinking it's your genes, right? It's genetics, but I think that's just a part of it. The biggest is your lifestyle choices. And what you're sharing today, basically, I'm hearing is that we can include fasting as part of lifestyle choice.
Absolutely. I mean, you mentioned the gene. I don't know if you ever heard about in German we say epigenetic. It means that
Epigenetics.
epigenetic, yeah, means that we have an influence on our genes depending on our lifestyle. How we sleep, how we eat, how we drink, how we sound with positive people. So we can, even when some of our genes are damaged, we can really, I wouldn't say repair them, but we have an influence about our genes. That's called epigenetic. I strongly believe, I think that the genes shouldn't be an excuse not to live life to the fullest. And sometimes we have challenges. I mean, I also have two genes that are mutated. That's the reason why I cannot. Most people don't have enough iron in the system. I cannot get rid of iron, so my iron is very, very high. So that's why I go every 2 to 3 months do bloodletting. Yeah, so I produce new blood, and then it's not so toxic anymore. Otherwise, I would pass out. But this is not an excuse for me. You can have a healthy, fit lifestyle, even when you have some genes that make some problems. It's all about your mindset, and I mentioned in many shows before. For me, it's important. I want to perform, meaning doing a good business. On one hand, to have a certain lifestyle. But I also want to have a quality of life. I want to have time for my friends, for my love, for my children, to really enjoy life to the fullest. And it's only possible when you're 100% healthy and fit. When you don't have any pain, any stuff. So for me, it's health is very, very important. Fitness is very important. But I wouldn't say I'm not addicted to it. It's not the number one goal in my life. I'm not running to the gym 6 hours a day and stuff like that, or have a very, very strained or strong diet plan. Not at all. But what I do is I don't eat very much during a day. I only had 2 meals a day maximum. I do 16 to 8, so 16 hours break most of the time. Sometimes I get an invite for dinner, so I don't. Maybe it's a 12 hours break, but more than 16 hours break. I only have 2 meals. I drink a lot of water. I don't eat except in restaurants because I don't know how to cook. But I go very rarely to restaurants. I always cook for myself. I only eat fresh food. I eat a lot of meat, to be honest. I'm not a vegetarian. Just today, I'm on the way to my auntie. I visited my friend who has he has more than 200 Black Angus cows. So I brought a lot of meat. It's grass-fed beef. It's natural one. It's not the cow has never seen a slaughterhouse, so it's no stress, stuff like that. So I eat very clean, meaning I don't eat anything that is prepared with any artificial preservatives, sugar, coloring, stuff like that. So I don't buy it. As I said, when I go to a restaurant, I don't know how they're cooking, but I drink a lot of water. I surround with positive people. I spend a lot of time in nature. I do a lot of walks. I'm walking my dog on a beach or in a forest, stuff like that. And this all together helps me to stay fit. And again, it's not that it's not just in my brain. Some people are really addicted to go to the gym like crazy. That's not me. I enjoy life. I also have my so-called cheat days, but I don't think about cheat days. When I was in Italy, I guess every 10 days or 2 weeks, I was enjoying the gelato. The Italian, they make the best ice in the world for me. I even had more coffee because the Italians know how to make a cappuccino, a coffee. My auntie is baking a cake. Half of the sugar, I ask her. So once in a while I do it. I love it. I don't see it as a cheat day. It's part of my time. So to make a long story short, I guess 80% of my food and my behaving is healthy and good, and 20% it is like it is.
Well, thank you for sharing with us. And you are very healthy and you always have this glow about you. So whatever you're doing is working. We have to sign off because our next show is coming up, the Mallorca Connection, believe it or not. Roland, what's the best way for people to reach out to you, and who do you want to contact you?
People who can contact me. People who have a kind of feeling there's more for me in life. Is this everything? Maybe I want to change something or do something different. If you think about that, you want to get out of your treadmill, then I'm more than happy if you contact me. You can see my website. It's in German and English. The best way is send me an email. It's office@ and then my name, Roland Friedl. I'll spell it for you guys. It's ROLANDFRIEDL.com, rolandfriedl.com. That's the best way to contact me. I have a look on my emails almost every day, to be honest. Not every day, but almost every day. I will come back to you, and then maybe we can organize a call or something like that. Yeah, just contact me. Go on my website. It's rolandfriedl.com. You can click on the English version, and from there you can link to the business website. When you run an international company, you can go to the coaching website or to the man's website. You're more than welcome. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Roland. All right. I hope everyone got some valuable gems and information today when it comes to fasting and longevity, and we appreciate you. Please do subscribe to our channels, USA Global TV and Radio, and Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck over on YouTube. All right, Roland, I will see you shortly. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. If you would like to be a guest on this show or any of our other shows, please go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com, and go over to book your session. And that's where you can find all the different shows that we have. And then finally, I would love to have you pick up a copy of my latest book, which is Amazon #1 new release. It was in paperback and in ebook, Broadcasting Brilliance, and it gives you the story of how and why we started this platform and where we're going with it. So you can pick up that on Amazon, and it's available worldwide. Thank you again. We are going to go over to our sponsors. Please do have a listen and a look, because the stories, the information they share is really valuable, and I'm sure it can help somebody out there who is watching today. Let's take a look.
Ever dreamed of hosting your own TV show, sharing your story with a global audience? Now's your chance to shine. At USA Global TV and Radio, we make it easy for you to create, host and broadcast your very own TV show. Whether you're a storyteller, entrepreneur or industry expert, we help you bring your vision to life. With our exclusive interview, live streaming and podcasting training, you'll gain the skills and confidence to captivate your audience. Our global platform ensures your voice is heard worldwide. Join our community of creators who are already making an impact, one show at a time. Step into the spotlight. Host your own TV show on USA Global TV and Radio. Book your discovery call today at usaglobaltv.com. Copyright 2025 USA Global TV and Radio. All rights reserved. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit usaglobaltv.com.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Steve Klein Art, at steveklein.art.
My name is Steve Klein, born Manchester, England, 1953. My quest in my lifetime is to create artwork from my soul and the deepness within my wildest dreams and fantasies. In 2012, my heart stopped when I was given too much anesthetic for a minor knee operation, and this near-death experience took me to another multidimensional world, an out-of-body experience, and I was given the gift of being blessed by an overwhelming, burning passion to become, for the very first time in my life, an artist with an eternal, passionate desire to bring my art, which I've named multidimensional, subliminal, freeform art, to the world, as only 3% recover from what I experienced, and now in my golden years want to release my cosmic, vital energy through my art to allow people to be a part of my cosmic dance.
To learn more, email roccogoodwine@gmail.com. For VIP pricing, mention USA Global TV and Radio.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives, one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.